So last week we made one um, important uh, distinction that everything is alive. Everything is alive. And we are made of fields of fields. Of what? This is what's interesting. And we have stories. That's why writers are really important because we actually have stories alive in our body, in our soul, in our relations, in our on our journey, on our path. So there are stories. Now, when I say that everything is alive, what we really mean is these elements that are differentiating in our perception, they have their own agency, their own autonomy. They have trajectories where they're going. They created themselves and they have a relationship with the environment. So this is very interesting and almost like when you go on a trip or on a mental trip or a medicine trip. All of a sudden, everything comes alive, right? Like you literally see things and they're talking to you and they're very vivid and alive and real because really this is the nature of life itself. Now, not only that things have their own aliveness or livelihood, but anything that you differentiate in your perspective is alive. So if you think a thought, if you write a sentence, if you write a poem, this thing is alive. So what happens when you are able to connect at that level of aliveness, then you are actually we are in relationship with everything. Okay. And this is a very important basic premise in ensoulment. Ensoulment is a body of wisdom that has been transmitting and transmitted to me for the last 15 years. And the more I'm learning it, the more I'm actually discovering and kind of cross checking with the most recent quantum physics, string theory, even biological understandings. It's a very, very, very powerful perspective. And this is why I'm engaged in it. And this is why I keep wanting to know more because ensoulment is not only related to healing, it's related to really how to see the world, how to experience the world, and how to interact with the world inside of us and around us. So the first premise is that everything's alive. And I want to pause here and kind of check in with you. How is that landing with you? And what does it feel? And any questions? Is it pretty clear? Or how could it be that a thought or chair or an interaction that I had last week is something that is alive? Like, what? It means that basically we are in a sea of arising living things all the time, inside and out. How can we even how can we even make sense of all of that? So I want to pause here and see if we have any questions, any comments, anything from your life or from your clients. Does it make even sense, or maybe it doesn't make sense? You can even challenge, or maybe you don't challenge. You're like, yes, please, Sarah.
So for me, it makes complete sense. And I can tap into that and I can feel that in spaces of quiet, in nature, in connected spaces. Um, and a very strong with the natural world and with relationships I care about. It is much more difficult to see the aliveness in transactions with clients and negotiations around contracts or money. So I like the challenge of thinking about it in this way. and the fields that are interacting. And yeah, I have a particular query around that, but I'll wait
Please,
for
please
that.
bring
It's
it, bring
really,
it. I like the particularity.
I think this is really interesting for me because I had a conundrum today with a client. I was super clear I was going to fire the client. I'm going to just backtrack. I accept it's a book I'm writing for him or editing him. I accepted the contract because I needed the money at the time. It was a fantastic amount. And over the last month, I felt like I can't do this. This is terrible. This is awful. I don't like the person. He's awful. Sorry to say that. And I was incredibly clear today. I was going to deliver a communication that was to terminate our agreement. I practiced it, I had it written down. And when we were together on Zoom, um, that didn't happen at all. In fact, by the end of the 1 hour call, I had swept myself. I was swept along again into kind of doing more work for him, which is really interesting with the concept of a relationship is alive. Like, what was going on? Why could I not detach from it or end it? Or there was a field that I was sucked into, and I can see that.
What is this field?
And
What is this field?
the field felt intellectual to me. I don't know if that makes any sense. It was like a brain connection that I
Mm.
was pulled into. Um, it was an energy field, and my clarity went. Like I was clear, but then when I was in this field with him, all the clarity was gone, and I was suddenly in his world. I could almost visually see it like, in tennis when you're trying to play your game, but you're having to play their game. It felt like
Mm.
that. So I was pulled into his field. That
Mm.
means I don't really know.
Yes, yes. And when you were pulled into his field, what happened to you?
Oh my God. I was just getting incredibly like frustrated. I was even angry. I was trying to be polite, but I was being swept up in this bizarre intellectual conversation. I was trying to backpedal out. And then when the call ended, I realized, oh my God, I didn't do anything I said I was going to do. He actually thinks we're going further down the road together.
Mm.
And I was so confused at the end of the call. I was like, what just happened?
Are there elements there that are familiar to you?
Definitely. There
Yeah.
definitely and what are the elements that are familiar to me? For me, what I can recognize in myself is the ability to get enthusiastic along with somebody else and then stand back and go, was that really mine, or is that my
Mm.
am I actually in this, or is it the other person's enthusiasm?
Yes, really. Wow.
It's like, yeah, it's a lack of boundary or separation, or maybe even just absolute clarity. Like, I'm so sorry, this is the end.
So look, it is an incredible example of how the fields of fields, like you are a field of fields, fields of thoughts. On the one hand, you'd like the money, maybe you'd like I don't know, the topic, but on the other hand, you really don't like the person, you really don't want to work with them. Like maybe there's
So
this
weird.
inner conflict inside you that may be presenting itself in this kind of back and forth. So there is an inner conflict in you. On the one hand, maybe it's good money, maybe it's a good contract, it's another thing. Why not? On the other hand, you really don't like some things and they don't resonate with you. So there's these two areas inside you. The thought that want to have the money, want to have the contract. This is one aspect, which is a force in it for itself. It's pulling you in one direction. And then there is the part that you don't like the person, maybe you don't like the project, maybe you don't want to do it. For sure, you don't want to do it. There's another force that's pulling you in another direction. And here comes You are you are clear with what you want to tell him in the call, and
Mm.
yet there's some magic that he's, because you mentioned a few times you found yourself all of a sudden in his field. You were swept away. It's almost like you had no power in the matter, you had no say in the matter, you were just, you find yourself in his field. So but this is happening all the time in everywhere and every engagement we have. So they are, because he really probably wants you to be his writer, he wants you to write his book. Okay. So he's using his own power and forces and energies to kind of lure you in or pull you in or maybe invite you in. And you, instead of like, hey, okay, that's what he wants. What do I want? What do I want? Okay, I hear this is what he wants, what he needs, but what about me? What do I want in this? And this dynamic is happening all the time. Either it's conscious or unconscious, it's happening all the time inside our body, with our thoughts, with our relations, with our work. It's happening all the time. That's why when we actually pause to see, okay, let me see what's the dynamic. This is the direction I would like to take it. This is the direction he would like to take it. So I'm seeing that there is this movement, okay, and everything is alive. His field is alive, your field is alive. And now they're kind of negotiating, they're kind of dancing with each other. They're kind of like, no, let's come here. No, how about this? Oh, look at this shiny thing here. I can pay you more. I can do this. I can do whatever you want. So this behavior of the two fields are literally moving the energy to the next place. And normally these dynamics happen for a learning experience. Okay? For a learning experience, maybe what does it look like when Sarah speaks her truth in the moment? She respects the other person. She respects the other the mental energy that he brings, the desire to work with you. You respect it and say, I hear you, thank you, and here's my truth. I hear you, and
Mm.
this is what I'd like. I hear you, and this is what I'm suggesting. Okay, so then there's a real energy and power that you have in you to really also voice your intention and your where you're taking it. Now, so there is a very interesting. The reason I ask, does it remind you of anything that happened before? Is normally we attract and we create. I want to say create. We not only attract, we are creating experience in our reality to learn something that the soul is trying to kind of go to the next level. Your soul is trying to go to the next level, maybe with money, maybe with clients, maybe attracting only clients that you want to work with and daring saying, no, thank you, I'm going to decline this, whatever, 100,000, whatever it is. So there is a learning here for you. Okay. So you actually, I want to say even more that you are not only attracting this man or this project or this like, oh, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I don't want to be polite, it's bizarre, I don't want to. So you're actually recreating it so you can learn something here. And maybe the key learning is to speak your truth, to say exactly what you want, and to really keep kind of creating boundaries, but also asking these boundaries to be respected and not having a whole agenda for the meeting. And then the meeting went completely somewhere else. You are finding yourself helplessly and powerlessly in somebody else's field. It's not bad for a little bit, but hey, now let's come back. I'm not sure I want to work on this. Like, is there anything that you wish to work with this man? Maybe you say, no, I don't like the man. I don't like the story. I don't like the book. It's a big no. So then the question, why does Sarah go and continue to engage with something that's a big no? What's that about? Okay. So all these are basically voices, forces, dynamics, fields that are kind of created in your field to teach you something. Okay. Questions about that or any other questions or comments? That was a very good example.
One thing I'm curious about is how the fields interact and like what is the relationships between them. So, for example, the field of thoughts and emotions and the field of memory and the field of our physical vessel and how to understand them so that we can move them in the direction that's coherent with what we want. So does, for example, if we want to change our mind, does changing our body, how do those interact, those two? And yeah, I'm curious how they relate.
Amazing. That's a wonderful question. So the fields are co-arising all the time. The mental, the physical, the emotional, the relational, even our past, the past field, the possible futures, everything is co-arising. It's like, well, if all of this is arising, then what gives content for this moment? Like, who gets to decide what's going to happen in this moment if all these fields are arising? This is where, number one, we want to recognize or at least identify who is arising in my field right now. So who is arising in my field right now? For example, Sarah said, I was frustrated, I was angry, I was polite. That was what have arisen for her, okay? Which is valid. But then he kept talking and kind of sweeping her into this and da-da-da. But at least so in the center of all these arising fields, there's the 0 point. Yeah. And that 0 point is the observer. Is the one that is, you're not observing like how do you call detective? You're observing this kind of loving kindness, witnessing of everything that's arising. Loving kindness, witnessing. Oh, look at me. I had this agenda, and wow, all of a sudden I'm right here. And all of a sudden he's back telling me, and now, okay, interesting. So we're not beating up the bush. We're not like, oh, that's wrong. No, we have this 0 point, which is in the center of our core being, that is witnessing the co-arising of the next moment, because it's always co-arising. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, here we go. My feeling frustration, my body restless, my power, I feel very powerless. I feel like I'm just accommodating. I'm just people pleasing. Okay. Just notice. The noticing itself creates who is in the movie right now, in this moment. Who is in the movie? Who's participating in the movie? Okay. Mental, emotional, spiritual. Sometimes your mother will come in because your mother used to talk like this. You talk like this as well. All kind of things will arise. Okay. So how do we do that? We will talk about it in the future, about the 0 point observer, which is really, really important. The 0 point observer, number one. Number two, we will talk about the which observes with loving kindness of everything that arises in the moment. We just observe. And then we have from the 0 point core, when we're observing the body, the soul, the memories, all of a sudden flashback, all of a sudden this comes, all of a sudden a line from a movie or a line from a song. When we observe that with our intention and attention, we kind of focus the next particle of experience. Now, this is something I'm going to talk a lot about, particles of experience, because it's the most revolutionary thing. I haven't seen it anywhere. And this is, I believe, the core novelty and power that ensoulment brings, which basically the power we have is noticing the next particle of experience that we are emanating all the time. We're emanating. And I will talk about it probably next week, about particles of experience. But So you ask about, okay, all these fields, what do we do? Number one, observing and differentiating. Okay? Differentiating, say, that's my mommy. Oh, that's my fear. Oh, I'm being nice. Yeah, this is my persona. I try to please people. So first of all, kind of differentiating and calling them even names. Oh, that's that. It really helps, especially with fears. When you have a lot of fears and all the fears go crazy, fear of this, like, I'm working now with a lot of people who had cancer, and every little thing that happened to them, every little thing, even if they have a cold. I have a woman who is already way over her cancer. She had lung cancer. Every time she has a cold, every time she has a little thing, oh, maybe it's back, maybe it's back. So only differentiating the fear and the type of fear and what exactly it is, it's not like a black box that you find yourself afraid or dreading something. You are really able to articulate and differentiate. So the 0 point in the core of your being allows you to differentiate. When you differentiate, these are the arising kind of players in my next moment. These are the arising players. What's my intention? Where am I putting my attention? Yeah. He's talking and he wants me to go here, this guy, but no. I'm coming back here. And I'm kind of bringing back the energy. It's like Tai Chi and Qigong. You're moving the energy. Okay? So the third thing, after differentiating and where we put our intention and our attention, we actually decide, and this is why we call it the power of now. The reason the power of now is so true and so potent is because we have an influence on the next becoming moment. We can actually, with our own energy, decide what is the next moment. What's my experience is going to be like? They're crazy there. He's talking his head away. He wants me to do this. But what is my experience and where do I want my experience to be? Okay, so then there's intention, attention, or choice. Okay, we have a choice. And the last thing that happens, which is another thing I'm also realizing, is there's a forefront of your experience and there's a background of your experience. The fact, let's say that Sarah likes to accommodate and kind of play based on what other people want, this maybe is in her childhood, she was like this. And maybe she had many people she had to accommodate just to survive, okay? But is it really the forefront of her experience where she wants to be? So now we are actually differentiating between forefront and background of our reality. Okay? It's a lot of information I'm bringing you here, but I love the question. So we talked about 0 point. We talked about the observation of what are the different players in my reality right now. A choice, where is my next experience? And then the forefront and the background of my experiential field, or my reality, really. My reality. Questions?
I have a question.
Please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Tali, we can hear you well.
So two questions actually. One is everything is alive. I'm going to physics just to understand. Does that mean every particle has consciousness? Is it panpsychism? Like everything has a little bit awareness and
Yes, in philosophy, yes, it is.
Okay.
Exactly. Everything
The
has.
second
Yes. Sorry. No, go ahead.
The second question may be related, maybe not. You say we have a choice by being the 0 point observer. By having a choice, we're bringing our ego in. So we're not anymore 0 point observer.
Lovely, lovely. Okay. This is really important point, really, really important. So everything is alive, everything has agency, autonomy, inherent self-creation, inherent influence, and dynamic and subjective experience. Even the cell, every cell in your body has a subjective experience. Every cell. We have trillions of them. Trillions of them are having subjective experience. And maybe my hair cells feel different than my toe cells. This is how subjective it is. Okay? So yes, yes, yes to the first, it's panpsychism. Yes. The second thing is, I'm like, okay, if everything has experience and let's say we are sitting in our 0 point and we're kind of looking, all these players, I'm taking Sarah's example because it's a good example for us today. And she's noticing, oh, he's talking. And all of a sudden I'm listening to him and I have all these things I wanted to tell him and I'm not saying anything. Oh, I'm not saying because I better be nice and who knows, maybe something good will come out. Who knows? All these voices and consideration and forces and coming out. And she's observing, the 0 point observer. She's observing all this arising in the Zoom call today. Okay. And then the attention and intention is something that comes from your essence, not from your ego. Now, this is a major, it's a whole class on the difference between ego, persona, pattern, okay? I want, you know? Like, you know, I have a client who has pain somewhere and I justify her, she wants the pain away. But is it the highest good for her that the pain will be away? Maybe the pain is actually her best teacher because he's keeping her like this on life, on learning, on growing, on this. So what I'm trying to say is what I want is not necessarily what is the right thing. So I am differentiating between the ego and the essential, which is the soul, desire, or the soul. It's not even a desire for the soul. It's an impulse. It's like the next thing, you know, it's like the heart, for example, the heart itself. It's not thinking, well, shall I pump blood? Shall I not? Shall I do it faster? The heart essence, because the heart is both physical and both essential. Essential means it has an energetic, conscious frequency being. There's a heart being before the physical heart, okay? The way the heart is pulsating and how quick, because sometimes it's scared, the whole body is scared, so the pace is faster, okay? So this kind of essential, how to pump the blood, how quickly, how deep, how strong, this doesn't come from an ego choice of the heart. It comes from an essential choice of the soul of the heart. Not only that everything has energy and consciousness, not only that everything is alive, everything has a soul, has a unique imprinting from the beginning of time, unique imprinting, which is the soul. The soul is not the ego, is not the persona, it's not the pain body, it's not the trauma body. It's something completely different. I'm like, okay, well, that's nice to know that there's an ego and a soul, but how do I know the difference between them? This is something to be experimented, played with. Like many times I make decision and I'm like, okay, Nali, okay, who was making decision there? Like, you know, I also, not only that I'm observing all the time, inner and outer, I'm also reflecting back. I'm like, when you build this house, who made the decision about this? My ego. Okay, why? Because I was scared. Okay, what were you scared? Well, that I wouldn't have a place to live. Okay, so it's almost like you know exactly who's making the decision. There's a big difference between when my soul makes the decision and when my persona and fear body and this and that make the decision. There's a big difference. Now, the practice here is to differentiate between the next kind of almost organic, essential becoming, okay? For example, with Sarah's case, Sarah and the client, let's assume she's really in her center, she's loyal to her voice, to her truth, to the things she has intended, and she's also loyal to this gentleman. She wants to listen to him, to this. What would the conversation look like? And what things would she say and articulate honestly and authentically and feel and say thank you. And how would she behave if she would not have behaved from, because look, I mean, the anger that you felt and the frustration and the politeness, this is all ego. It's all ego. The ego or the pain body. The pain body and all, the persona that developed here to cope. You had to cope with all these sisters, all this family, all these things. It's a big deal to cope as a little girl, as a little baby. So you develop all these patterns, but these patterns, okay, they served me until 10, 20. When we're in our 30, 40, 50, 60, and 100, maybe it's not serving. So to answer your question, Tali, which is an excellent question. So this is I love it. I love these questions because they bring us to all the distinction that ensoulment brings, which it's either my essence who is present, and my essence who is noticing and choosing, like the heart is choosing the next beat, or it's programs. So in ensoulment, I make a distinction between programs. Programs are anything that's not your essential self. Some programs are okay, like brushing your teeth every evening or every morning. It's okay. It's a program that is ingrained and okay. Learning to listen, learning to share is a nice program. So the question that arises out of that is how to differentiate between my essential response from my essence, from my soul, versus from all the programs that I have in my head, that I have in my body, that I have in my kind of coping, pleasing persona. But once you are observing long enough, it happens naturally. When we observe ourselves long enough, we know exactly who's speaking. And and many times I observe myself and I'm like, okay, Natalie, we know exactly who it is. It's absolutely not your soul. Go ahead, be my guest. You will suffer a lot, and you know that, but go ahead. And then I have to pause, and I said, okay, it's right. It's not my soul. My soul is very clear what she's telling me. She tells me to turn left, and my soul wants to turn left, and my persona, let's go right, and maybe this time I will get it. I'm like, okay, go ahead. But then I suffer. So suffering is a really good indicator for wrong turn. Okay. So thank you, Tali, for this question. And now basically the invitation for this next week is it's not a lot of work that we have to do. It's not work. It's just relaxing into participating and observing with life. It's relaxing, observing, and participating. Okay? And that relaxing, because it's not like we're going to go around. It's like, oh, I thought this. Oh, he said that. No, we just let things happen, flow, because life is going to flow through us regardless. Okay? So we are relaxing, we are observing, and we're making choices from our essential self. If you don't know if it's your essential self, ask yourself, is being afraid of this right now, is this my essence or is this my program? Program, thank you very much. Is responding to her with anger, is this my essence or is this my program? Program, thank you very much. It will tell you. It will tell you when you are responding from your essence and when you're responding from any other program. And when we are more and more responding from essence, it's like the dancer, it's like the pianist, it's like the scientist, it's like the doctor who is like mastering things way beyond decisions and choices. It's like the flow state has it, the dancer, the musician, the anything, the mechanic who fixes a problem with the car, when they're so in it and they're in the flow and they know exactly what to do. This is a state of art. Okay? It's not coming from this isn't. It's a knowing so deep with the soul of the car that it knows exactly what to do and how to talk with the car. Horse whispers, dog whispers. There's also machine whispers. We are seeing it, and it's going to become more and more and more with all the AI we're doing. So we're going to whisper and talk with everything. Yeah?
Mm.
Yeah, I wanted to do something today, but look at that. We have only 20 minutes left. Okay. I don't know if I should slow down because today, this is what happened. I prepare a plan and then the question take us somewhere else, but it doesn't matter because we are dancing in the kind of in the field, in the dance floor of ensoulment. So we have a couple options. One option is to let all this kind of sync with us, feel it if there's more questions. And if I answer the question, maybe I haven't answered. If I haven't answered, bring it on. Another way, which I don't support so much, but maybe is to give you what I wanted to teach today. And then we want to leave about 15 minutes to meditation. So we're going to meditate on things that arose today or something particular you are requesting based on what came today. So how are you feeling? What's coming up for you?
It feels aligned to go with what feels best of giving maybe a few more minutes for questions and then going into a meditation that feels aligned for me,
Yes.
but whatever.
So sweet. Gabriela, do you have any request for meditation based on what arose? Just think about it, everybody. Because the meditation, what it does, it slows time and it lets us kind of bask in the long now and in the long here, the deep here. And it also allows things to alchemize. Meditation is such wow. So reflect on also if there is a meditation, what meditation, whatever is related to what we talked today or any other is okay too. So reflect on questions or the meditation you would like. If not, I will create our own.
Natalie, my question, I think, is in the tapping into this, right? All this you've described, this it's almost like a process of observing the parts, being the center point, all these things that can become fluid and natural. In time, of course, it's immediate. It's probably as you're living it, but let's just assume you're caught in a situation and then you go, oh, I was making choices from my ego, not my soul or whatever. I'm assuming then the opportunity is to really just pause everything and realign or correct almost, right? Just notice, yeah.
If you are
Because obviously in the moment we could be doing these wrong things and then we have an awareness, oh, I've been acting in this way.
okay. So when in the universe, there's no right and wrong because this entire existence is arising, coming into being, and experiencing itself. This entire, not only this universe, I believe other universes, even in other universes, from what I can receive, has different physics and different ways about it. But let's say in our known universe, okay, there's no right and wrong, which means if you're doing something and it's bringing you this result, oh, interesting. When I do this, this is what happened. If I do this, my hand lifts, my arm is feeling like this. If I sleep on this side, this is what happened. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So when the loving, kind observer is always observing, oh, look at this decision. Look what I did. And this, interesting. Okay. So it's almost like you're observing and you're validating the experience or the results. Okay. And then you are in the midst of something and you're catching yourself doing something. And you're like, oh, I know that. Here we go. Let's say you're activating a fear or you're activating your being nice or accommodating or I'm activating a concern about the future, or I'm like, okay, here we go. So while you're noticing yourself doing that, the beauty in the power of now is that you can always choose in this now to redirect your experience, to redirect your choice. So if you're thinking a thought is not something, oh, well, I'm just thinking, and well, I'm just worried. No. Worry is a pattern of repeated negative thoughts and seeing what can go wrong. And it's not just like happen to you. It's again and again and again and again, repeated experience and repeated type of thought, behavior, feelings, and so forth. So while you're observing yourself doing something, and you're like, I know this. I don't like that. I'm not interested. Okay? Then you're making the next choice. By choosing the thought, you are actively choosing the next thought. And then you're choosing the next word. And then you're choosing the next action. And it's not like now you're going to be in this like, whoa, like look at our body. I don't know, trillions, we have a doctor here, trillions and trillions of transactions all the time. Nobody's saying, oh my God, I have to pump blood. Oh my God. No, it's like this arising moment by moment, incredibly sophisticated thing, all happening with grace, with beauty, with attunement. This is how slowly, when we are living from the soul vibration, we become like that. We are this kind of really beautiful embodied intelligence that is always choosing what is the next. Now I have to pump more. Now I have to pump less. Now I have to slow down. Now I have to take a breath. So the body tells me. Okay? So in the moment, you redirect your next choice. In the moment, all the time. Primarily the next thought, because thoughts are very, very fast. And if you can slow down the thought and choose the next thought, wow, you are completely coming closer and closer and closer to essence. And you know when you are in your essence, you know when you are in your flow. You feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it. You feel it. It's not a feeling of only sensation or emotion. It's you feel yourself in the flow. Like, you know, if you take a shower, it's like, oh, that feels so good. It feels good. It feels good. When your body, let's say there's a heat wave and you get a glass of cold, chilly water and it's like, that feels so good. It's not your ego. It's not today. It just feels good because it's essentially balancing the system. Very hot, chilly, together, it's delicious. Okay? Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah.
Play with it. Play with it. What I invite you to release is this like, okay, I need to observe, I need to decide. No. The body doesn't do it. The body is flowing. It's doing things like, oh, that feels good. Oh, yeah, more of this. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's do more of this. So feeling good in the field, in the whole field is a really important compass. Okay? Feeling good is very good compass.
Can I clarify something?
Yes,
Natalie?
yes, please.
So it sounds like there is, the ego, the soul, and then there is the observer. So it's three entities. The observer is more like soul material because you're saying we can trust that it knows what to choose.
Yeah.
But it's still a different entity because it can choose ego.
Okay, so your center, your 0 point center, it's almost like the center of a hurricane or center of all these things happening, but at the center, or at the center of a black hole, or at the center, it's like, now that center, I love what you said, that it's soul material. So the soul The soul is a unique, which is what I wanted to teach, but I'll teach it next week about the 5 phases, the essential, the soul, the da-da. The soul is an aspect of the soul of the world, of the whole cosmos, the soul. And it's your unique aspect, your Sarah, your Shamit, your Gabrielle, your Sarah, your Natalie, aspect of that divine soul of the world, which is this omnipotent, omnipresent, timeless, supreme. We'll get to it, okay? Now, in the center of the soul of the world, there is this 0 point. And in the center of your soul, there is the 0 point. Now, sometimes that center can be filled up with a program. So you're in your center, you feel good, you feel in the flow, all da, 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 da. But then all of a sudden, this kind of 0 point center point get obscured. It's not filled up, it's obscured by a pattern. Let's say a fear pattern, or a pleasing pattern, or a confusion pattern. It get filled in. So when this happens, let's say you made a choice and you say, Natalie, I really made a choice and it was for my essential self, but the result, I didn't like it. And looking backward, it wasn't the right choice. I'm like, okay, so you learn from that. So there is it's almost like, even though we all have women, feminine bodies, each one of our bodies is different completely. So there's a unique way in which you're listening to this 0 point, which is of the soul, which is of the universal soul. Sometimes it gets kind of covered, convoluted, filled in with some pattern that can be obsessive, can be addictive, can be obsessive, addictive, and kind of it feels like we are helpless, but we always have a choice, and we always have power in the matter. That's why they call it the power of now. We have so much power in this moment. Okay, so the material of the 0 point is of the soul. Now, if it gets cluttered for you, and your ego came in, your persona, your habits, it's like, oh, okay, that was not my soul, apparently. Now, also, it's not always if I make the right choice, I like it, it's good, it's my soul. No. There's a whole journey. There's a whole, it's infinite. It's infinite in its complexity. This is why the mind can never figure out life, ever. AI and all the systems we're creating are wonderful mental construct that we're entering and spending time with and simulating and this, and they're creating all these approximation, but it will never be reality itself, ever be the soul of the world itself. Because the construct itself can never be the essence, ever. Mm. It can come close. And very soon we will create these humanoids that we're going to 3D print our skin, we're going to 3D print hearts, and we're going to do many things. But it's never the essential life intelligence. That's what we have to learn. So not if I make a decision and it was good and it felt good, then it's my soul. No, it's way more sophisticated than this. Okay, you have to learn your landscape. This field of fields we talked about last week. We are made of fields of fields. We got to know who is our field, what's happening, how does it interact with darkness, with light, with books, with computer. Like we have to learn it. And this is what we learn. But just gentle observation will do the work. Don't have to do nothing. Gentle, relaxed, graceful, that's the work. Okay? So I want to do meditation. Can we? Any request for meditation, or I'm going to lead us to what I saw today? Whatever, if somebody has request.
You go for it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So let's sit, maybe 10-minute meditation. Ah. So it's good when we meditate to put our feet on the floor. The feet on the floor connects us to the earth, to this dimension. Every inhale, bring life energy. Every exhale releases. Inhale, life energy. And exhale what you no longer need. Nice. Imagine from the base of your spine, there's a root going down to the earth. So this is our home right now. This is our playground, the earth. And we connect to her. We say hello, we drop our root. We say thank you. And allow your root to go all the way down to the center of the planet. And allow the root to extend in all directions inside the earth. That gives stability, solidity, and a lot of health. The earth is a wonderful source of balancing and healing. The earth itself, just walking on the earth. Because look what she creates. Look at the capacity she has. So when we tap into her, all the capacities she has, we can allow these in. Now we're going to open our energy centers along our spine. Color red, orange, yellow, gold, sun yellow, green, in your heart, blue, for clear talking, clear listening, their audience, blue, purple inside the head, for clear seeing, and golden white on our crown. From the crown, we are imagining a root going up to our source. The root is like a golden white going up gentle, thin, but it goes up to our source. That keeps our connection with the source of all that is. Connection is alive. The light that we turn on in your body starts to reverberate the cells. The tissues, the organs, and it literally provides healing and balancing. Light itself is a healer. Light itself brings all the food in this, all of life depends on this light. So imagine your inner light, what it does to your body and to your psyche. It brings it alive, abundant, thriving. Let the light expand until it creates your field about 1 meter all around you. In that field of light, you are sitting in it. Your body, your soul, your psyche is sitting in this field of light. Allow your soul to be present in your heart. Your soul is an essence, it's an aspect of you. Maybe you give your soul a name today. Maybe you give her a name that represents the quality of what you feel your soul is. Give her a name. And let your soul fill up your heart, fill up your chest. And like you put a drop of a color in clear water, the whole water starts to fill up with your soul essence. In the center of your soul, in the center of everything of your field, wherever you go, there is that 0 point. And that 0 point is observing kindly, lovingly, gently, knowing all is well. It's observing your heartbeat, observing your thoughts, maybe gently stroking, calming thoughts. Just being. Just being, you are broadcasting your gifts. You're broadcasting them to the whole universe. Just being. Yeah. It's beautiful. So beginning today, you have a new relationship with your soul. You have a new relationship with everything that's arising, that's alive. You have a new relationship with the observer. This new relationship, the intention is for the highest good. So beginning today, August 24th, 26th, Earth time, this new relationship, we're putting this agreement in a bubble of light, like we're writing it on an agreement, we're putting it in a bubble of light, you're signing it, and you're releasing it like you release a balloon. Great. To complete this meditation, bring a color that feels good for your body, for your soul, for your psyche. Bring a color or colors, and imagine these colors filling up your field from the top all the way inside to your feet. So all the way down, take a breath. And slowly, slowly, when you're ready, come back to us. Come back to the here and now. Beautiful. Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was wonderful. Your questions, your participations, your presence. I loved it. I'm going to do it on Mondays. I know sometimes people can make it, sometimes not. I would love for you to be present. And if you feel like somebody would like to join who is already on their path for a while, we would love to have that. And they can be from anywhere in the world, as you can see. Okay, so you may invite anybody, and I will see you next week. And if you have any questions that come up during the week or after the sessions, you can always send to the group, and I'm more than happy to answer. Okay? Thank you, guys. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.